I would love to just hop in a motorhome and fucking travel around and train at different gyms every weekend, living in campgrounds. That would be awesome. Do you want a motorhome? That's an understatement, bro. Retiring in a motorhome is my fucking life dream. And I really don't need a big one. I'd be happy with just one of those built on a Ford van chassis. I would probably pull around a fucking golf cart on a little landscape trailer. Back into your spot at the campground, unload your golf cart. You know, with a golf cart, if you're close enough to a grocery store and a gym, what else do you need? Huh. Still want to retire in Nevada. It was actually Arizona I brought up because Arizona has two different climates in the same state. You could spend your summers up in Flagstaff, where Northern Arizona University is, up in the mountains, and they even have skiing up in Flagstaff. They've got deer, they've got elk, whitewater rafting. I mean, it would be a great place to stay until about Thanksgiving, once the snow came. And then you could just drive down out of the mountains down to Tucson for your winter. If you really didn't want to travel far, but you wanted to have two different climates for your camper or your motorhome, you really can't beat Flagstaff and Tucson. They're really not far from each other, and they're like two completely different climates. One's mountain, one's desert. I just don't like the dry heat. Everyone talks about the humidity. Fucking dry heat is fucking nasty. You know, another place where you could have a bunch of different places to stay, but you can't avoid winters. I mean, think about Pennsylvania. In Erie, Pennsylvania, you got access to the Great Lakes. In Philadelphia, you got access to the ocean. You got the mountains. I mean, there's a lot to do in the state of Pennsylvania. Ryan Bamsford's Life, $9.99 in Irish money, whatever that is. I just think living in a motorhome in South Florida in the summer could be brutal, unless you built a carport to park it in the shade. Ryan wants me to have a birthday donut. Oh. Yeah, buying a small piece of property and building a carport tall enough to back your RV under is another good idea. Then you're at least protected from the rain and the sun. Pour a cement slab so you'd have a little patio. If you got a power pole, you could plug in. If you dig well, you'd have water. I mean, you could go all out and have a septic tank put in. That'd be really living large. I'm down to like my final sip of pre-workout here. Ernest Borgnine converted a Greyhound bus That's a lot of work. It's expensive too. I've seen a lot of hipsters like to convert old school buses. They call them schoolies. And you can buy plans, like on the internet and do it all yourself, but it's a shit ton of work and it's not cheap. People think buying a school bus and turning it into a motorhome would be cheap. It's not. Better off just going to the dealership and buying one, for Christ's sake. I mean, you can finance a motorhome for 30 years. All right, there it is, gang. That's the final sip of pre-workout. Cops always shoo you along in a motorhome. Well, if you're not causing any trouble. I think the main thing that they're concerned about is once you stop and have a cocktail, don't move the motherfucker. That's the important thing. Which is important. Yeah, I think the ideal situation with a motorhome or pulling a camper is you need two home bases. You need one northern, one southern. Unless, like I said, you built a big carport and with shade and a water hookup and a power pole. You could do it in South Florida, but I mean, if you built a huge carport, like something you could back a tractor trailer under, and had a cement floor in it, and then you parked a little motorhome in there, you could get yourself a picnic table and whatever you wanted. It'd be like your own little recreation area. And being in the shade on a concrete slab is a lot cooler than being out in the blazing sun. That would really be the economical way to do it. Build a huge carport with a 13.6 door or entryway. Not a door, because you don't want walls on the thing. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Head inside. Big bench today.